Hello YouTube. So Conor McGregor, now it's been, I get busy with things, gotta work and do different things. But I made a video, Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. I think I made a video on that before the fight was announced, maybe a few months back, like if they were to fight type video. And then right after the fight was made, or like when it was right about to be made, I made another video, a current video. And a lot of people disagree with what I say in that video. In that video, basically, I break it down and I say that I think Eddie Alvarez is going to beat Conor McGregor. A lot of people think Conor is going to win. They think he's going to beat Eddie Alvarez. And Conor McGregor came out when I seen the betting odds. That was about 5-6 days ago. Maybe they've changed it. But they had Conor as the slight favorite. Now, that could be just because they're trying to get everybody to place bets. I don't know. People say that they do stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I think they pretty much go with what they think. They'll make the odds to whatever they think is going to happen, to where they're going to make the most money. I do find it unusual that they have Conor as the favorite. I got to be honest with you guys. I do not think Conor is going to beat Eddie Alvarez. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm saying I think it's more likely that Eddie Alvarez will beat Conor McGregor. And I think a lot of people, like I see a lot of ignorant comments, people talking. They just seem really ignorant to this whole mixed martial arts fighting game. And it's actually kind of disrespectful. It's kind of disrespectful. I'm not going to say to me, because this is the internet and people are going to say what they want to say, but it's disrespectful to mixed martial arts. It's disrespectful to fighters. Conor McGregor is not a well-rounded fighter. He's a great fighter, he's a great striker, but we've seen this before. When I've been watching MMA since its very beginning. For 20 years I've been watching fighting. And when MMA first came out, that was the whole thing. It's like, Can a grappler beat a striker? Can a wrestler beat this guy? How does jiu-jitsu compare to somebody that's into judo? And it was really interesting. It was fascinating to watch. We're seeing Mirko Cro Cop. I mean, probably like my all-time favorite fighter. Not my favorite, but he's up there. Mirko Cro Cop, back in the day when Cro Cop was in his prime. In the early days of MMA, I don't think there's anything. Go. If you guys don't, go type in a Mirko Cro Cop highlight. Because his career went on for a long time, and he had a lot of fights. But when you go watch Mirko Cro Cop highlights, I mean, it's just the most badass thing you've ever seen in your life. I mean, it's some straight up blood sport type stuff. I mean, it was just phenomenal, and these guys were doing this for not that much money. These guys are like really underground fighters doing something. When they got into fighting, like even Fedor was doing all this sambo and all this stuff when mixed martial arts was barely even around. I mean, they were just doing this because they loved it, because they were passionate about it. But that was the whole thing. It's like, Mirko Cro Cop destroying everybody, and then in Pride, we've seen what happened. Nogueira submits him. So anybody that is a stand-up fighter that's not super well-rounded, it doesn't matter who they are. It's not because I hate Conor McGregor. This is just the way, this has already been proven years ago, years before a lot of these people commenting have ever even watched mixed martial arts. It's only a matter of time before they lose. It doesn't matter how good you look in your stand-up. It doesn't matter how good your stand-up is. If you're not well-rounded in this sport, that doesn't mean that Conor can't come in and beat Eddie Alvarez, but if he beats him, it's only a matter of time before he loses. It's like Ronda Rousey. She's submitting everybody, and yeah, she was knocking some girls out, but it was only a matter of time before she was going to get lit up standing, because her stand-up was not on par with her ground game. And then you take Holly Holm, same thing. As great as her striking is, it's only a matter of time before she's going to get submitted and outclassed, because they're not they're not well-rounded enough. They're not truly well-rounded. They're not even in all areas. And that was one of the few things that separated Fedor from everybody back in the day, is that he was the only guy that was really strong in all areas. I mean, you know, he is the best heavyweight of all time. He was just super well-rounded. His only shortcomings, was his size, that he wasn't, eventually his size did catch up with him, and then just aging, just getting older, and then just the progression of the sport. But anyway, I really do feel like Eddie is about 60% chance of winning, and Conor's about 40. And giving Conor 40, I mean, I don't know, guys. Look at, dude. People are coming, oh, Cowboy Cerrone, this and that. Do you guys think, because Cowboy fought at 155, do you think for 1 second that Conor McGregor would beat Cowboy? No way. There's no way. I mean, Cowboy's beating people at 170. I mean, that's just a completely, and Cowboy did beat Eddie Alvarez. But man, I just based on the fights with Nate Diaz, that's what just ended this whole thing. I mean, he really struggled. He really struggled with Nate Diaz, who I do not even have. I don't even really have Nate Diaz in his top 10. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan, but at this point in time, I don't even have him in the top 10 in 155 division. He's down there in the teens. There's a lot of, because he has holes in his game. The guys, they're just run away. Anybody that's a really strong wrestler can just out wrestle him. Well, maybe that's being a little bit harsh, but I do not have him. I do not have Nate being up there with Cowboy Cerrone. I do not have him, even though he's fighting at 170 now. I do not have him up there with Eddie Alvarez or Rafael dos Anjos, or I think all these guys would just destroy Nate Diaz, and Conor really struggled. He lost, and then the second fight he had to run away, and I think he lost that fight too. So he lost 2 fights in a row in my mind against a 155er that's not at the level of these other guys. And now you have, Eddie Alvarez. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't know where these betting odds are coming from, but what people are thinking when they're breaking down this fight. Not to mention, Eddie Alvarez does not get knocked out. I do not think Conor's going to knock out Eddie Alvarez. I think Eddie Alvarez is going to take him down immediately, wrestle him to death, beat him up, probably TKO him on the ground or submit him. I'll see you guys later.